everyone, Kane here, and in this one we're gonna touch on Armory once more, what you should do, how you should upgrade it, and what's the most efficient way to do about it. So, there are a few things to touch, and the first one we're of course gonna touch upgrading and how should you do it. So, as you can see, majority of the gears that I have upgraded to 30 or almost 30. And only one of them I have upgraded to level 40 thus now. And of course, when you have PvP, you have 3 ones, but I didn't really found much use to just quickly raise the other 2 to, let's say, level 40. Pretty much because, you get a buff, but the buff is like so situational that if it doesn't proc very close to your burst side, basically it doesn't matter at all. And those, it's like a lot more situational than, let's say, something like a RHINO Warhammer, which if you do level to level 40, right, and you activate the radius of it to 8, is gonna make a pretty huge difference in terms of even PvP. Of course, if the enemy is trying to debuff you, you kind of swap that debuff into a buff and you literally nullify. So it basically performs as well as you would have without any debuffs randomly landing on you. So, to make you aware how big is the debuff straight off the bat, let's just enter a basic fight or whatever, and I will show you what kind of happens. So, I placed 3 army here, I placed 2 heroes, and basically look at how friggin' big this buff is. This is like a lot bigger than the friggin', I suppose, pet buff. And I can't really test it because the pet is not being able to cast for quite a decent amount. So I think the pet buff just reaches somewhere like here or whatever. And this buff will literally cover the heroes. And I do believe also buff the heroes if it touches them. So depending how you place the archer squad, if this squad is your only archer squad, you can almost all the time get this particular buff on even your heroes. But again, I'm not sure. This says oh yeah, it says buffs attack speed of all friendly units in the area. So yeah, it should buff the heroes as well. And that is why I kind of swapped to a RHINO set, pretty much just making let's say my Valerie, my Aryan, my, I guess, Ophidia, whatever I have closer to those Lich Warlocks, it kind of makes it perform quite a bit more, and in a sense can contribute to the winning, because majority of the time, the very beginning of the fight is the most decisive one to actually win a battle. So do keep that in mind. So upgrading those to level 30, what do you get? So basically, to level them to 30, you get a lot of base attributes, upgrades to max HP of all units, that being your army, your heroes, your dragon. And of course, you unlock specific buffs, such as, let's say, friendly troops, troop healing. I do believe this affects only the army, since it says troops and not units. And then, of course, you get to unlock slots. Now, since I have played the Refining Master, I have a lot, and I do mean a lot, of runes or other stones at level 4. So as you can see, I have a lot of dragon stones at level 4 and stuff like that. Of course, all the other gears are also the same, some more, some less, but you pretty much can guess what I kind of have. The same for all the other stuff. All of them are level 30, the same for armors, and after that, I'm not entirely sure which one in particular I will be upgrading. Because honestly, it doesn't really incredibly benefit me to level those others to level 40, because these ones are very situational and pretty friggin' random compared to something like this, which you can actually somewhat control. So likely we'll start with the shield and then go for the armor, and perhaps sometime in the future maybe go back to Elephant 1 and test it out a bit, because I'm not entirely sure, but who knows. Anyway, so that is the first thing. Do keep in mind, again, I think I didn't mention that slots also stack up, and because they stack up, I currently have a lot of buffs on my own account through Armory. So All friendly units max HP 100% almost. Friendly units attack 102%. So all friendly units accuracy increase. Well, in here it says also friendly units crit damage and healing received. So likely it also works for heroes as well, perhaps even dragon. And then increase friendly heroes attack by 80%. I literally went for hero attack from the blue stones that I have, because honestly, majority of my formation, majority of my PvP is literally my mages, so why not just increase more of their attack? Some people went, I do believe, hero defenses. I'm not entirely sure. I just went straight up attack. Because of course, you know, the best defense is an even better offense, at least for me. If I explode them, basically, I even heal my stall set and whatever. Not sure if that is a good idea. Again, this is based on my own account and what I'm going for. You should make your own decision whether or not you require attack or you require defenses and stuff like that. Then, of course, friendly troops attack speed. So you can go a couple of ways about this. You can go army attack or troops attack. You can go attack speed, or you can go resistances. Quite a few people went for resistances. I went for attack speed because I don't have a single feature buffing their attack speed. And I do need the attack speed for ranking higher in the timed events. And if I don't have attack speed, pretty much my mages, my archers, my deadeyes, they're just too slow. And quite a few times I even earned Linari from events such as Kingdom Guardian, Nightfire, RHINO, etc. because the archers did a lot more damage due to attack speed. So it's again pretty situational. You have to keep in mind, you have to know what your account lacks and then use some of those features to build what you kind of lack. Then of course I got level 3, so it grants dragon attack percent. I didn't actually choose this. And then I have 10% HP as well, and one stone with 12.5% on dragon HP, which likely I will keep or even add another one to raise my HP, because the dragon resistances get descaled rather quite quickly. And I don't even know whether or not this also caps whenever they put it on the friggin' dragon as well. So like a double cap action, which could be pretty horrendous in the amount of stuff required to even buff 1%. So for example, you would require here, I don't know, like 10% or 20% to get like 5% in here, right? And then whenever you put that on the dragon's like stat sheet or whatever, that 5% doesn't even give you 1%, like, you know, that double cap action. So pretty rough, pretty hard to touch because we can't view dragon, I suppose, stats. So have to keep aware that this particular stat already gets capped and whether or not it gets capped on dragon. Then of course 30 stats to all dragon due to furnace and the basic stuff right here. So out of all of those sets, personally, currently I find the level 40 RHINO hammer pretty friggin' useful due to the range. If it does not have the range, it doesn't perform that well. And in the end, I would rather just swap to the elephant because of the gladiator basic attacks, because of the armor to, I suppose, summon, I guess, what is it? I forgot already. To random enemy range troop in a radius of 5, pushing them back and reducing attack speed. So basically, if the enemy has this, right, its radius is 5, and I boost the RHINO WARHAMMER thingy for a radius of 8. So this doesn't touch my mage heroes, it only touches the range squad. So I basically nullify this and also buff my mages if they would have something like this. So do keep in mind, this can act sort of like a counter. And then of course we have this buffing HP of a squad to reduce ranged and magic damage for 20 seconds. Or I would have like a shield based on their max HP for a smaller amount of time. Basically, I kind of run this. This is performing a little bit better. Again, strictly due to the RHINO WARHAMMER. Like if it wouldn't be for this, I would swap back to elephant. And I'm pretty much halfway to level 4 or tier 4. And when you would get it tier 4, basically, This makes it so you likely can win in a lot of stats versus quite a few people. Like, you wouldn't even need to try, because I do believe we have about, what, 40 heroes, so that is about 600-ish, like, give or take a few heroes, about 600 stats per particular stats, or 600 command, 600 might, 600 stamina, 600 magic, all that kind of stuff. Like, the stats just go friggin' wild. So I'm looking forward to that as well, because not a lot of people are actually getting the stones or cast iron. They're not getting upgrades or whatever. So for a time being, eventually you may have more stats and actually get some PvP higher, but everybody will catch up regardless, so you have to be aware of that. Aside from that, yeah, I suppose that's pretty much it. That is what I kind of changed in my armory, and pretty much due to the formation I have built, placing again one squad near my hero burst site. Now, let's see if I can actually showcase that in a fight, rather than just the basic stuff. So you would be able to view that. Okay, going into the fight, so I have mummies here, right? Okay, so do you see the range? So basically the mummies are here, and that's the only ranged unit I have, so this procs all the time. So basically the attack speed gain is on literally a squad of stalkers in the back, pretty much 2 squad of stalkers in front. The mummies, of course, the Bane runs faster to get the enemy's damage taken increased. And then you have, I do believe this is Avril, this is Valerie, Nora, Ophidia, Arian, like all of them get this buff. And if the enemy would have that Ballast Stomp or whatever the hell this is, they would actually only touch this and probably touch Ophidia at the time of it actually appearing. So that wouldn't really be too bad for me, because Ophidia doesn't really do that much damage, or very, very rarely, depending how I use her, so I don't really lose that much. So yeah, that is pretty much it, and why I kind of chose it. And probably after this video, quite a few people will try to more or less adjust their formations for something like this to happen. And more attack speed, of course, for mages means more damage that you are able to do eventually, especially for something like Arian, who also sometimes just literally scales off the fight incredibly to a win. Now, in terms of damage, like, pretty much, do you see what Arian can sometimes do? And that is what I mean when I speak in quite a few videos, that sometimes, depending how many procs he has, his damage just starts destroying everything. So yeah, that is what Arian can sometimes do. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Pretty much explained what I did with Armory. A few changes here and there, and of course the efficiency and what sort of choices you may have for the stones. Now, I don't think I touched all of them, so we might as well just by the very end touch all the stones trove. Or trove rather. So for the purple ones, I went for friendly dragon's critical resistance by a percentage. For green ones, troop crit rate and crit damage. And for the other ones, a hero's crit rate and crit damage, because I don't think they had like evade chance and some other stuff. I don't think I found any others really that powerful, but that's of course just me. If you do require something else, of course you can just swap that to what your account may require or want to. This is pretty much what I chose for myself. Whether or not this is good, time will prove in the future whether or not I made a big oopsie or not. But of course you can just merge all of these into one big one and never get to worry about that again, because every box you get, you always have a choice of 4. So essentially you can just again merge any stuff that you think you made a mistake on, right? Merge it into one big one and just redo the other ones on the slots with the stats you require. It's not a huge loss, and you know, what can you do? You tried other stuff. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. If you found this video helpful or useful, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe out there.